Okay, great content. It takes time to talk about it, and then we'll finally finish all the buying questions that we have. A total of 14 of them. And now we want to get into the different category relating to selling shoes. And a couple of the categories that we're going to talk about, going to be talking about is the customer issues and also some of the couple questions specifically being asked by seasoned seller, but thinking on behalf of people coming in new to sell shoes. And then we talk about the inventory and all the shoe returns, and those are all very good topics to talk about. Okay, so let's go into customer issue. Question 15. So how do you handle buyers that claim counterfeit?
Counterfeit. So those are inauthentic complaints. We've noticed that when a buyer says that something is counterfeit in a feedback, it will come back to us from Amazon as an inauthentic complaint. So we start preparing right away when we can see it coming. And sometimes we don't see it coming, but either way, it's the same issue. We have to have our receipts in order, because the first thing Amazon wants to see is a good chain of custody, proving that this is an authentic item that we sold. Mm-hmm. And we have to try to find the root of the issue, which usually isn't hard if the buyer said that they thought it was counterfeit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get an inauthentic complaint that doesn't give us specifics like that, and it's up to us to go back and figure out who was unhappy and why. But we need to state what the issue might be and what we're going to do about it. And that's the basic format of our response to Amazon whenever we get these counterfeits or inauthentic complaints. We give them proof of authenticity, a summary of the root issue, and our plan of action to keep it from happening again. And just having a good system in place like that allows us to answer those and resolve those pretty reliably. Out of all our sales, we get about one a month, which I don't think is excessive. We're really careful on the front end to always make things look good, to make sure that they look real. We don't send in shoes in brown boxes or crushed up cheesy boxes that look like they've been sitting in the back of somebody's closet. Mm-hmm. We make sure everything looks brand new. We make sure it has all the manufacturer tags. We make sure that it looks neat and as expected for the customer, because typically when they come up with complaints like that, it's because they saw something they weren't expecting. So we try to head those off, and then we have a good plan for resolving them when they do come.
So that's a great strategy, because you focus on doing really well on the thing that you have full control on, right? So you're doing RA, you do all the inspection, you can make sure everything goes out as a brand new as anyone would expect from a new pair of shoes with nice shoe box, everything. So if you focus on taking care of the thing that you can take care of, then we shouldn't be worried too much about the thing that we cannot control, right?
We make sure that we have a solid chain of custody. We buy from solid sources. We have a good system for our receipts, so we're not scared when we get those inauthentics, because we're running a solid business.
Yeah, so that's kind of once a month. So it's good to know at your level with the system that you have in place. Then versus, let's say, people get 5 a month. It's completely different. I mean, who wants to have this kind of an issue to deal with, right? But it's inevitable that somebody will do whatever. I mean, customers' return policy is so generous that people just say whatever they want to, right? So the question, I have a follow-up question. It is there anything that you can do or you are doing like before Amazon comes down with the inauthenticity thing? Is there something you kind of know ahead or prepare ahead to kind of maybe that this pair of shoe being returned might have this issue? As Amazon, the robot in the back end, kind of picking the keyword or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Do you do anything before that?
Do you mean on the buying, or do you mean when we see a negative feedback or a potential problem brewing?
Yeah, the potential problem, for example, Amazon, they issue a refund, right? Um,
Oh,
then you kind of okay, there's a refund, and I mean 90+% is no problem, but the one that happened once a month, maybe it's in
yes,
it, right?
yes. So we do have a process for this. We have our VA, our virtual assistant, look at all of our returns every week,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
anything that's returned for specific reasons, for item not as quality not as expected, item not as described. There's one or two others, not every single return, but the ones for potentially problematic reasons. He
Mm-hmm.
sends out a template to follow up with them and make sure that everything is okay. Apologize that they weren't happy with their order.
Less than perfect experience.
Right. To apologize for their less than perfect experience. It's a follow up to
Right.
if there are any other issues. And then sometimes we will get information back that could be useful in answering an inauthentic. Trying to think.
Converse.
Well, that was different.
No, well, no, but
Sometimes they'll
we
explain.
had a return because the lady said it was a fake because something didn't look right about the star on the side of the shoe. And Kim started dialoguing with her and also doing research. And then what happened?
She bought a toddler's Converse, and she thought it was fake because there was no star in the middle of the letter O, the way that she had always seen on Converse.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the picture on the Amazon listing, and it did show a star, and ours didn't. And I've gone onto the Converse website and found out that the infant and toddler sizes don't have that star. So by researching, I was able to give her a link and reassure her that this was what authentic infant and toddler Converse shoes look like. And we did get an inauthentic over that, but I had that chain of interactions with her, and I had the manufacturer website to show that it was what the problem was and what we had done to correct it. And I uploaded new images for that listing that were more accurate too for that size. But that's another thing I want to bring up is a lot of people automatically have a defensive reaction. Why are people saying it's fake? They just want free shipping. They're just trying to scam us. And people really are suspicious because everybody knows that sometimes fakes are sold on Amazon. It's not unreasonable that they think this.
Right.
And it's not unreasonable that we should have to occasionally prove that we have a secure chain and we're selling real goods, not fake ones.
Yeah, I worked in chemical manufacturing for 10 years, and it was taken for granted that you would supply your chain of custody for your ingredients if you were asked. Amazon sellers, they personalize the process improperly. Instead of looking at it like a business process that we need to build concrete steps for to handle it, they feel attacked and or they're scared, and out of that fear, they'll tend to ignore dealing directly with Amazon. So having a concrete process, having being proactive, and then the other thing I would say is a VA. When we were scaling and growing rapidly, often we were reactive and not proactive because there's so many things going on. You pointed out at the beginning of the first video, we have 13 children. We homeschool our 13 children, and we run a multi-million-dollar Amazon business. Things can be very crazy. But one thing we always wish we'd done sooner was get a good qualified VA, get them trained. And as we've done that, we've added a couple to our team, it's allowed us to be more proactive about stuff like this.
Yeah, that's a very good advice. I mean, the things that, I mean, you must stay on top of the game to monitor the return. I mean, because it's directly related to your account, right? Because if you can have it shut down, and then there's nothing you can do. I think so. The Kim, you have you put in the nice template how you reply to people with a return, like not as described, and so I read the book that you wrote together. I think those are very nice template provide for people to have a guideline to reply and stay on top of it. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Amazon, I think I want to add to this something that we can do in addition to what you said. when customer initiate a return, Amazon as an end customer, as you go through the return process, you will be given the opportunity to select the reason for return, right? And at the end, you still give you a special optional comment. You can type in anything that Amazon is not on Amazon's drop down default reason. And those sometimes actually give you a sneak peek of what is to come. So the only time you can see those optional comments is when the shoe get returned to Amazon warehouse, and then Amazon will update the report so you can see them. So there's a small window between the return being requested to the shoes being returned to the warehouse. So that period of time, let's assume the customer actually finished the return process, get the refund, and ship back the shoes, probably 5 days, right? And what I have done to be proactive, it's actually as soon as I receive a refund notification, and then I would go in, and then I would look, I will actually file a ticket to Seller Central or call them to say, I get this refund notice. Are you able to tell me, is there any optional comment left by the customer when they request for the refund?
That's good.
Sometimes the support will be so helpful to say, yeah, I mean, they said this thing, it doesn't fit right. I mean, he's been buying this thing for so many years, same shoe, same color, but this time doesn't fit. He's not happy. He's curious why. That's like additional information for me to say, okay, now I need to either engage the buyer or somehow create a chain of, the proof to Amazon that I'm on top of this thing, right? Even before the comment being made available in Seller Central. And Amazon support oftentimes proved to be helpful to give me that information. So I have so it helped me in a couple cases that to resolve the issue that might potentially become inauthenticity. So that's something, of course, you have to create a ticket, follow up with the ticket, but that's another way. If you're selling shoes, it can be giving you additional protection. So give you a chance to be proactive and show Amazon that you are staying on top of the thing. Yeah. So that's the perfect thing there for the VA to open the ticket and follow up through. And so I imagine, let's say you sell, 4,000 pairs of shoes a month. If your return rate is 10%, let's say, that's a lot of shoes, right? That's a lot of shoes. I mean, how can you do it without the help of a external help, right? So I think that's a good way for the VA to really have a full plate to work on.
Very true.
So okay, this is a great question. I think eventually everybody has to deal with the return. So let's go on with this question number 16.